Described by Revolution Bike Park as looking, well, dodgy. One man attempts to build a bike jump.
Hello and welcome to yet another fun-filled episode of Learn That with Pete. Today we're going to do something slightly different. Instead of these short videos, I'm going to do something a bit longer, a bit more vloggy. We're going to build a jump and see how fast we can do it. First of all, we need some tools. As you can probably see behind me, I've got a few tools ready to go. I've got a saw, an axe, a shovel, and I've also got a couple of these old stakes because I think they're going to be quite useful. Unfortunately, a couple of my other tools have been stolen from another trail that I was building a few months ago and I haven't replaced them yet. So these are just going to have to do for now. We're on our way up to the trails now. Not entirely 100% sure about this setup that I've got carrying all my stuff. Pretty heavy. Luckily though, it's only about, I don't know, a 5-minute walk. We're still on our way up to where we're going to build the jump, but here's one of the tracks I've been working on. Ooh, lovely. Now, it's pretty dark in here, so I do apologise if it gets a bit, hard to see, but I'll try and do everything I can. Let's go and have a look and see what we're working with. The reason why I'm making this video is to see how long it takes to make one jump. Not just one jump, but one proper jump. A real jump. One that'll stand the test of time. Well, hopefully. Haven't built a huge number of jumps before. The jumps I have built in the past have been tiny and not that impressive, to be honest. I need to decide on where we're going to do the jump, where it's going to fit into this line, probably the one behind me, and then we'll start the timer. I thought about trying to replace one of the other small jumps that is already here, and I thought, you know what, let's just make a new one. So, I've made a decision. Turn around. We're going to go over this, and instead of going down there towards that tiny little jump, we're going to go straight, and then there's these two stumps here. And I think what I'm going to do is put the takeoff here, then I'm going to take off, and then because there's that big tree in the way, nobody wants to hit the tree. So I'm going to put the landing just the other side of this stump, and it's going to be ever so slightly hipped so that we can go and then through there, and then I will probably extend the line up there. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's get building. So we'll need this. Like I said earlier, you may recall, I've not built very many jumps before, so I've got a plan. What I'm going to do, instead of building in a traditional way by patting down topsoil, I'm going to use logs to bulk out the majority of it. And that is where these pegs come in. Bang in a couple of pegs, and then I'm going to make a ramp out of logs and then put soil on top of it. So it should be really quick. We've got our plan, we've got our location. Let's start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go! First things first, I'm going to need some of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is it that Matt Jones is always talking about? Build lapses. Maybe we should have one of those. I don't know. Might cut that one out. Maybe ignore the splitting. Not a good sign. I have actually come up in the past with the chainsaw and cut some of these lengths, so they should be the right width for the jump. Let's get moving. What's the golden rule? Lift with the knees, try not to fart. 1 out of 2 is not bad. 1. I've only gone and put the stakes in the wrong place. Top tip number 1, measure your logs before you put the stakes in. Well, can't use that anymore. I'm quite aware that this is eating into my valuable time. Right, I've lost 25% of my stakes already. Right, let's put some more logs on. I need some smaller logs. I've got the first layer of logs in. Let's have a quick check of the old timer. We're 11 minutes, 20 seconds in. Not ideal. We did have that setback with the stake, but I'm not sure how much of the time, we can blame that on. Anyway, issue numero, well, we'll come back to that. We've got quite a lot of these kind of like sticks. Now I think we need to start knocking these off because they're going to stop the next layer of logs sitting nicely. 1, 2, 3, ha! Let's keep building this up. Well, hello, you're a big spider. Thank God I'm not scared of spiders. Oh, wait! Well, that hasn't filled a hole. Does that look like a ramp yet? This thing's basically taken up a whole tree. No wonder people don't use wood for ramps. Oh no, wait, they definitely do. Something I am now a little aware of, which I hadn't anticipated, and it's definitely going to add sort of time to this whole sort of venture, is that these stakes, although they're doing a brilliant job of holding the bottom log in, they're doing absolutely nothing for the top log. So what I'm going to do is add this last one, although it doesn't look in great condition, at an angle, zoop, like that, so that it reinforces this back side of the takeoff. Hopefully that'll work. So that's against there, foot on there. Oh great. So you know that thing I was saying about before, with the stake going in at an angle so that it holds the logs on top? Yeah, well that didn't work. So as you can see, this stake is at an angle, a lovely angle, but not quite the right one, because there's still, and I don't know if you can notice this, quite a big space between this log and this stake. Bear in mind, the whole purpose of this stake is to hold this log in place. That has not worked. Hopefully you can just about make out the shape of the takeoff coming together. Now what you will notice is that it's very slightly lumpy bumpy, and that's because of the size of the wood. So I was wondering whether or not I could split some of the bigger pieces of wood with my axe. We shall see. It's axe time for you, little log. Well, quite a big log actually. Or do I just balance and hope? Right, so go! That did not work. I mean, I've taken a chunk off the top. I feel now like this might not be the most time-saving thing that I could have done. No! Right. Yes! Look at that! This could end very badly indeed. Right. What a man! Perfect. And then that will simply slot in I am genuinely quite surprised that that worked. Not a lot of my ideas work, and that one did. Look at this! Now you can see that the jump is really taking shape, and what we need to do now is the hard bit. We need to cover it in soil, which is where this comes in, I suppose. I'm going to take the majority of the dirt for this from kind of like off the top. I definitely don't want to take too much from close to trees because of the roots. I don't want to kill any trees. So let's see what we can find. And there we have it. That is the rough shape of our takeoff. Now what I've done is I've covered the top in soil, and now what I need to do now is let that settle, because obviously all the soil is going to fall in between the gaps and it's going to really solidify those pieces of wood. So I'm going to leave that overnight and see what happens for tomorrow, and then we'll build a landing. Did something a little bit silly before. Forgot to show you guys the end timer. Unfortunately, I also forgot to stop the timer, so when I checked it today, we were on 23 hours. However, technology is on our side, and I can see from the time codes on the films that from start to finish, including all the filming stuff I did, it was 1 hour and 4 minutes. What I'm going to do is on the next episode, I'm going to finish off that takeoff, I'm going to build a landing, and I'm going to ride it. If you enjoyed this slightly longer format video, then please let me know in the comments, or if you think there's anything that I can do to improve, let me know. Open to any suggestions. Peace!